Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 9, Episode 30. FCC busy, but DJI moves forward. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Let's see, we got a full house here. Let's see who all we got. Jaybird is here. Gator Drone is here. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong buttons. That's my mistake. By the way, you see, I have a corded earphone tonight, so you get to see me in all my glory with that. Jaybird is here. Gator Drone. Let's see. Who else we got? Sergeant Rock, welcome. RJ Redding, welcome. Let's see. Art is here. Welcome, Art. Let's see who else we got. So Carlos is here. Welcome. Let's see who else. John Flynn, welcome, John. Okay. Got a full house here. Ron's going to join me here in a minute, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot. So really looking forward to engaging you guys with this. Found some real interesting articles today as well too, and I hope you guys enjoy them. I was kind of very interesting, and some facts, some things that I didn't know that I found out today. So. Yeah, Eddie, welcome. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Got some, very, very interesting things that I found out from this today too. So that's always a good thing as far as that's concerned. So my sound is coming through my headphone tonight. It's not through my speakers because I know I've had some questions about people were talking about feedback. So I think we should be good to go tonight as far as that's concerned. First off, the other bit of housekeeping. Want to thank everybody for wishing my son Peter a happy birthday last Friday. July 24th was his birthday. I know he really appreciated that, and I'm really thankful for all you guys that took the time to do that as well too. The month is winding down as far as birthdays are concerned. I think we're about there. I think Valerie's brother has a birthday coming up, and I think otherwise that's about it as far as birthdays for the month. So. But it's a real packed month for our family as far as that's concerned. All right, let me see here. Bring up the first article here. Okay, there are a lot of drones that are on sale right now, and usually when you find out there's a lot of DJI's getting ready to do something. Well, in this instance, there's a lot on sale on Amazon right now, and you should probably pay attention because I'm going to talk about a couple of them tonight here. And let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen for the first one here. Okay. And it's called the DJI drone you'll actually bring everywhere. And it really is. The Flip 2 battery combo without a remote is $309 right now. The Flip with the RCN3 is $349. The Flip with RC2 is $509, and the Flip Flymore combo with RC2 is $619. Those are some good deals on that. And again, it's under 249 grams. It's easy to set up, easy to fly. The only thing that I say with that, is I do like with the Neo. They are absolutely fun drones to own and to fly. But the only thing with both of those is you got to make sure you have calm. It has to be a calm day when you're using it. But like I said, both the Neo and I didn't say the Neo, but both the Neo and the Flip are easy to get up in the air. They take great video. DJI Fly app works well with both of them. It's something I highly encourage. Seriously, it's absolutely fantastic with that. So. I definitely encourage that as far as that's concerned. I'm going to ditch these headphones because they are absolutely, I'm getting, my headsets, yeah. I don't know. I mean, these are great for listening to things online, but for a podcast, for me, it isn't working real well. So. All right, but no, the Flip is a drone you should consider. It's available on Amazon. It has some great prices right now, so that would be something that I would highly recommend, guys. All right, let's see here. Okay, So yeah, so we're good to go with that one. Okay. Now, this was a really good article. On Drone DJ, and again, all these articles, as you know, especially for those of you who may be watching for the first time, all the articles that I post are out on Build a Drone Review Facebook group. I didn't get a chance to put them on the page today, but they're out there on the group. So muy bueno. Go ahead and look at them there. Okay, let's go ahead and get that article up here right now. Okay, the DJI trick every social media creator should know. Okay, which DJI drones support vertical shooting? All right, DJI Mini Series, a Mini 5 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, Mini 3 Pro, Mini 3, Mavic Series, Mavic 4 Pro, Neo Series, Neo 2, the Flip, the Air 3S. Not every DJI drone does it the same way. Drones with true vertical shooting, that's the Mini 5 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, Mini 3 Pro, Mini 3, and DJI Mavic 4 Pro. Okay, so, but, you can, it's, you need to read the article as far as that's concerned. But I think it's really good to have an idea of which drones can do that. I mean, I know vertical shooting is real popular for apps like TikTok and Instagram. You don't get me on on TikTok, but on Instagram, sure. And it works great. It really does. And excuse me, you get a real good sense of things when you're able to do it. And it looks funny when you're processing it, but it comes out well. And it really, like I said, it really lends itself for things like Instagram, TikTok, and other apps that use that vertical format, and also YouTube Shorts as well too. They have a tendency to use that as well too. So definitely go ahead and check that article out. I like it. I think it's good. I think it kind of gives you a good primer on what can naturally shoot vertical, which I just went over, and the other ones that can. And it tells you how to do that in the article. That's a real good skill to be able to have. So you can get a lot out of your existing drones, and you don't always necessarily need the next new shiny drone that's coming down the pike as far as that's concerned. So, but anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get that out there because I thought that was a real good article, and I wanted to let people know about that. I thought it was really good. So. Dallas, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Ohio Drone Pilot, welcome. Where in Ohio are you from, Dallas? I'm kind of curious. I lived in Columbus I spent the better part of my life in Columbus, Ohio for 30 years. So curious as to where you're from. I know every nook and cranny of Ohio after having lived there for 30 years. So, but no, welcome. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Let's see what we're going to do next here. Okay. There's been a lot of talk about the Pocket 4 Pro, and they finally set a global launch date, and I want to go ahead and go over that right now. And this was on Drone DJ here. DJI finally sets a global launch date for Osmo Pocket 4 Pro camera, and the company says the worldwide launch will take place on July 30th at 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is more than likely 9 a.m. our time here, okay? It's expanded availability to several Asian markets right now. You can see it first showcased the Pocket 4 Pro during the Cannes Film Festival back in May. The early preview highlighted the camera's cinematic ambitions while intentionally holding back pricing, configuration, and release dates. Okay, you can see right here, see more, tell more, dual lens, cinematic pocket gimbal camera, Osmo Pocket 4P coming soon, 30 July 2026, 12 p.m. GMT. All right, and unlike previous pocket cameras, the new flagship features a dual lens design headlined by a new 1-inch CMOS sensor, a dedicated 60mm portrait lens up to 17 stops of dynamic range, and DJI's new 10-bit D-Log2 color profiling squarely at professional color grading workflows. Okay, wow, there's a lot in there, and and I know we don't have, we're not right now. We don't have access to something like that. Okay, Akron. Thank you, thank you, Dallas. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Um, we don't have access to the Pocket 4 Pro now, so we'll see what it goes on. And Ron, I want Ron to talk about that. There was that alternative that he had put some money down, and they sent the deposits back to the people. And I want him to go over that. I know he did a video on that, and I'd like for him to talk about that when he joins us. But I think that would be good for you guys to know. It's nice that there are these alternatives, and I know that Insta360 put one out, and apparently from last week during the show, Ron and I talked about they had put out a software fix to correct some of the problems that they had with that. And apparently that's working well from what my understanding is. So Ron will go over that, the one that sent him his money back and why and all that. And I know he did a video on that, and I wanted to go ahead and have him talk about that. So all right, talk about a week of news about the FCC. It's just like my timeline is clogged with things from the FCC. So let's start the train here as far as that's concerned. So let me go ahead and bring this up. All right, FCC isn't done tightening the screws on foreign drones. All right, trusted drones get more certainty, and we know which ones are trusted right now. FCC considers broader restrictions. Which drones could be affected? Swarming drones, drones specially designed to integrate defensive equipment, thermal imaging drones, LiDAR equipped drones, aerosol dispensing drones, drone docking stations, drones weighing 55 pounds or more. Okay, and you can see it really doesn't apply to consumer drones, but say it like you will, say it if you will. All right, why that should have been in place a long time ago. All right, why they're coming out with this now, I don't know. They're just probably trying to grab some headlines as far as that's concerned. So, but yeah, that's what this is about. And here's Ron. Hey, Ron,
Hello,
how are
Bill.
you, sir?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
We got a tornado warning for tonight, so if I disappear, you'll know what happened.
No, no. Did you have? I thought you had one last week too, didn't you?
It was one recently, yeah. Luckily, that one nothing happened, but who knows about tonight?
Wow, wow, wow. Um, just talking about how the FCC is starting to usurp its power here, and they're going after some foreign-made drones with looking at swarming drones, drones specially designed to integrate defensive equipment, thermal imaging drones, lidar-equipped drones, aerosol dispensing drones, drone docking stations, and drones weighing 55 pounds or more. I want to just jump back here. I just talked about the Pocket 4 Pro, and also I know that Insta360's version of the Pocket 4 Pro just had a firmware update. I think we talked about that last week.
Luna Ultra.
The Luna Ultra. Now, the one that you put a deposit on, they took the money back, and I know you did a video on that because I wanted you to go ahead and talk about that if you could.
Well, I think going back maybe early June, the Extra company. Extra is one of those DJI shell companies that kind of makes versions of all the DJI cameras that can be sold on Amazon. They're all legal, and you can order from Amazon. They ship from the U.S. They have full warranties on them. So basically, if you want a DJI camera, you can just get the Extra version and avoid all the hassle, right? So the latest one was going to be the Extra Muse 2 Pro, which was their version of the Pocket 4 Pro. And they offered if you put a $20 deposit down, you would get the first on the list to get one. Plus, you would even get like a $60 off coupon when it came out, and just priority shipping and all that stuff. But just as of Thursday morning, we got the, like I call it, Dear John email, where they're saying that they canceled the pre-orders for the Extra Muse 2, and they didn't know when it would ship, and that they would refund everybody's $20. And Bill, even before I got that email, I had got the $20 back on my credit card. So they held up
Oh,
to the word.
wow.
So, but the disappointing thing is now, well, you haven't talked about this yet, but the FCC is going to rescind a whole bunch of shell companies' FCC approvals. So by the end of August, even the extra use products that are out there now could get their FCC approvals pulled away along with Sky Rover and everything else. So if you notice, it's kind of a fire sale going over on Amazon. These products, you see the lowest prices ever on them. I think because they want to clear inventory before that end of August date, which again we're close to August 1st, so we're not far. We're only like a little over 30 days away from this happening. So that's
You
going
know,
to be yeah, just another tightening down by the FCC. No longer can we get DJI products. Well, we can't. We can get older products, but we can't get them customs. But also, we won't be able to get the news products and the Skyrover products, which you could get through customs and could buy in the U.S. So it's not a bright future, Bill.
no, it's not. And this article from Joan DJ talks about that. Talks about the crackdown on alleged DJI shell companies. Why these companies? So is this about DJI? Indirectly, yes. Directly, no. The FCC isn't announcing a new ban on DJI. Instead, it's trying to close what it believes is a loophole. Currently browsing Amazon for a Mini 5 Pro, Mavic 4 Pro, DJI Flip, or the Mini 4K. This proposal doesn't suddenly make those products disappear, nor does it make existing DJI drones illegal to own. For shoppers, it could mean some mystery brands showing up next to DJI and Amazon in search results if the proposal becomes final, or fewer. Someone searching for Mini 4 Pro alternative, for example, may previously encounter products like the Skyrover X1. Under the FCC's proposal, products from companies like Skyrover's associated business could become much harder to import and sell in the United States. Okay, why is the FCC escalating now? The timing isn't accidental. Last December, the FCC expanded the covered list restrictions to include new foreign-made drones and critical drone components, significantly limiting the ability of affected manufacturers to obtain equipment authorizations required for U.S. sales. So what happens next? Well, nothing changes overnight. The FCC has opened the proposal for public comment before deciding whether to adopt the new restrictions. Okay, manufacturers, retailers, trade groups, drone operators, and consumers will have an opportunity to weigh in before the commissioners vote on a final version. Okay, and I'm going to stop right there, Ron. Okay, you know what? It really all this is so they're kind of throwing us a little bit of a bone here, saying go ahead and write your stuff out. But you know what? Their mind's already made up about this. This is not, they're going to vote. Whether if there's 9 on the panel, it'll probably be a 9-0 vote or an 8-1 vote kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, the comment thing isn't them being kind. That's part of the law or the rule. They have to
Right.
put that comment section in. It's not something they're doing do a favor to us drone people. That's just standard operating policy. And like you said, the comments, against things like remote ID and all that stuff, it didn't make any difference at all.
Exactly.
And
As far as that's
the
concerned.
comments on remote ID were 99% against it, and it didn't mean anything at all.
Well, okay, and I want to kind of spend a couple more minutes on this because I want to ask a question here. Okay, if they're going to crack down and say, let's say for example, Skyrover sales stop. All right,
Yeah.
does that mean that if you have an existing Skyrover, is that going to be bricked, or are you still going to be able to fly that? I mean, nothing's been said about as far as that's concerned. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, just like anything else, why would Skyrover brick things? And even if somehow the FCC got some kind of court order for Skyrover to brick them, I doubt whether Skyrover is a U.S. company anyways. So why would they? Why would they actually heed something like that? What are they going to do? Go over to Singapore and arrest them? Or
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, So
Well,
first of all, Bill, let's do a little history lesson. How many drones do you know since the beginning of the dawn of the drone era, whatever year, have been bricked?
yeah, yeah.
Zero.
I know what you're.
Zero.
Yeah,
We've had 0 brick drones up to this point. Now, it's not everything's possible in this era, but I mean, the FCC's never never used the word brick.
and I want to cautiously say this out there, okay? And I use the word cautiously. And I'll use Skyrover as an example because right now you really can't find a Spectre drone out there, even on eBay. They're not on Amazon. You may be able to buy a battery, but that's about it. Okay, so the Spectre Air, Spectre Mini, you can't really find them right now. But I'm going to use Sky Rover as a prime example right here. All right, and this is just I'm saying this with throw some caution around this when I say this is if you're looking to buy one, if that's a drone that you had on your mind right now, I would go ahead and get that now before this vote takes place or before all this commenting period ends. I know that I think I read Sky Rover sale is probably good through like the 31st of July as
Yeah, I
far
mean,
as that's
prices on
concerned.
Amazon never guaranteed, but the Skyroad prices are unbelievable, Bill. Like the
Right.
base ones, like 419. They have a middle kit. Even the one where you get this with the screen, the built-in screen controllers, only like $719. I mean, and the extra meats product the same way. These prices, you'll never see these prices again because you may never see these product prices. So if you do not own if any drone that's anywhere in the league of the Sky Rover and you want something like that, yeah, go get it now. Pick up an extra Muse camera that if you need a Action 6 or Osmo 360 equivalent, they're basically 99% the same thing. Just go get it now because prices are all time low. They're shipping directly from Amazon. You don't have to deal with customs. You'll have them within days of the ordering. These are fine products. They have been reviewed, tested all over the internet. They work, Bill, air quotes, just as good as DJI products.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the Sky Rover. I
Here's
had
the
a
thing, Bill.
Sky Rover.
No, I wouldn't worry about the bricking. What I would worry about, Bill, is if they do revoke the FCC license on these products, which means the future models are the future ones are no good. The ones you have, your approval is good. But will Sky Rover and Extra News now both support their products? They have 1 year warranties. You could set them in for repair, even if they out of repair warranty, you can still pay and get them fixed. But will all that care go away after the
That's a
X?
that is an excellent question, Ron. The other question that I thought of while you were speaking about that are things like props and batteries. Okay, especially the batteries, because I know it comes. You can get a Fly More and it has 3 batteries, but can you buy additional batteries? As far as that's concerned,
On top of
I
that, the
think you
batteries are
can.
not compatible with the DJI clones or
Right,
whatever.
they are not compatible with DJI. So if you're gonna pull the string on something like this and go ahead and get it, make sure that you're able to get props and batteries with something like that. I know I've been saying that ad nauseum since like November, December last year. As far as stocking up on things, those are 2 things that are probably going to be critical for something like that. And like Ron said, like those extra cameras, those are perfectly fine working cameras and copies of the Osmo 360.
Action 6,
The Action 6. I
Pocket
mean,
3.
yeah, exactly. So, if you want to get something like that at a great price, go ahead and do that. One of the things that I would probably do is if they offer, say, something like Asurion at checkout with Amazon, get that. All right. And let me tell you a little story about Asurion here. Okay. This is kind of like a little segue here. All right. We have DirecTV. All right. And we had a lightning strike, not this weekend, but I think it was the weekend before. All right. And it was on a Sunday. And it did a number on our house. I'm real thankful I have very good, I bought $65, $70 Belkin surge protectors that have a high joule rating. All right. And if you know anything about surge protectors, the higher the joule rating, the better. That means the more that it can withstand something like that. All right. Well, we found out today. Okay. My wife wanted to watch DirecTV in our bedroom. All right. She hadn't watched it for about a week or so. And I'm having a hard time getting it on. It won't come on. I flipped through all the HDMI cables. I checked the DirecTV connection. Everything's fine. The light's on the box. I reset the box. Nothing's on. Okay. So I go ahead and I check the other one. Now, her office is in the spare bedroom. So I go in there to try to turn the TV on. The TV's not coming on. All right. The DirecTV box is on, but the TV's not coming on. Well, we had somebody come out today from DirecTV, and sure enough, what happened? The TV in her bedroom, toast. It got toasted because from the lightning strike. All right. And the TV in our room, same thing. The HDMI ports gone. All 4 of them. He tested all of them. They're all gone. And what we purchased through Amazon or on DirecTV, and it's through Asurion, is a $25 a month protection plan for all the electronics that we have in the house. lo and behold, I'm going to have a television repair company come out, all right, quote unquote, or they're going to go ahead and try to order parts, all right. Both of these TVs are 13 years old. They're Sony TVs, but they're both 13 years old. He said, I have to go through the motions. But what ends up happening for a $50 deductible on each one, I'm going to get a new 60-inch TV from Best Buy, a Sony of my choice. They'll give me a choice to choose from. And I'll also get a 70-inch Sony with a list to choose from, or other ones as well too, and they come brand new from Best Buy. So, Assurion does work, and that's something that I would highly encourage you to do if it's an option at checkout with some of these things. Definitely do that. It works. They work. They stand behind their products. They're a great company. I can testify to that. They really are.
Now these drones and action cameras, they probably won't be able to repair them because of the whole parts issue, but at least you'll get a replacement unit built. And the battery thing you mentioned is even more important on these Sky Rovers or even Muse extra products, because unlike DJI products, you can still get maybe batteries from Evelyn or somebody, resell overseas. But products like Extra and Muse, they're only for the U.S. market. They don't need them in any other market because they can just get the DJI versions. So if Sky Rover is off Amazon come the end of August, you may never ever see batteries or the drones, the batteries, or any parts ever again. If you're thinking about this, get your full complement of batteries and a lot of extra products. But I do not have any idea whether the DJI props are compatible with the Sky Rover products. I never saw anybody discuss that.
Well, one of the things that I did want to talk about again, and I know it seems like we're talking about this each week, but, another article comes up about this each week, is the Mini 5 Pro is still on sale on Amazon, okay?
It went back up, but then it went back down again. I was tracking it and looking every day.
Okay.
In the middle, like we talked about it last week, and then say by the weekend, by Friday or something, Thursday, Friday, the prices jumped back up again, but it went back down. So again, these prices, people, if you see these prices, I mean, they're up, they're down, or whatever. They may come back, they may not. You don't want to wait.
Exactly. And for a drone like this, the capabilities of this drone are off the chart. All right. And, it's going to be actually, when I go up to Pittsburgh for my high school reunion, this is a drone that I'm going to take. I'm going to be able to film some of my hometown up there, which I've never done by drone before. And I don't want to take like an Air 3S up there, something bigger, or a Mavic 4 Pro. But this will be perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and take that, and it'll be great. And, it's if you have one already and want to get a spare one, I mean, they're dirt cheap. If you just get it with the battery, you can probably even, I don't know if they have them without the controller, but even for $683, I mean, that's dirt cheap for this drone. And this drone does almost everything like an Air 3S or a Mavic 4 Pro does. I mean, it's one of the best. It's the best mini drone that DJI's ever come out with. It has LiDAR on it. It has incredible tracking on it, features on it, vertical shooting. It checks all the boxes, Ron.
Bill, I'm going to help you out here. And this is the first mini drone that's truly on par with, say, the Mavic series and the Air series. I mean, it doesn't have the extra camera, of course, whatever, but it has all the same software options, features, video quality, camera quality. It's right on par with the other, drones. It's not like a dumbed down mini drone you've seen in the past. This is a fully, loaded camera drone, which you could do almost anything except you don't have that second and third camera on it. But otherwise, it's right on par
exactly.
with the guy.
Now,
my advice, Bill, is if you could put the money together to get the Sky Rover, especially if you're getting extras or whatever, just put a little bit more money together and just get the Mini 5 Pro instead.
I agree, Ron. I agree. Now, we're going to talk about a couple of things that are coming up here. And our good friend Igor has been real busy and has been posting. And I wanted to go ahead and share this here. And let me go ahead and,
Igor is still busy, but a lot of our old friends like Jasper and them, they've seemed to go kind of quiet, Bill.
Yeah, they are kind of quiet here. Now, for those who love to take a look inside, here are the inner workings of the Osmo 362. and you can see here's the body of the camera. And the one thing that I've noted, Ron, with all the information that's come out about the Osmo 362, is the size of the camera is probably about the same. The battery is increased in here as far as specs are concerned, and not a lot more in terms of what its capabilities are. I mean,
It looks like a very incremental upgrade, Bill.
right, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It was an
Hey,
incremental
Bill,
upgrade.
I want to ask you a question. Go to the first page there, the one that just has all the kind of specs and stuff on it, the white page, I'll call it. Yeah, make that big. Now, Bill, of course, we know this product will not get approved by the FCC, but yet look at the top the second line down, the second thing over, FCC ID number. Why does a
Yeah,
product not going to be FCC approved have a ID number on the spec sheet?
it said this device complies with Part 15 of the FCC rules. Operation is subject to the following two conditions, okay? This device might not cause harmful interference, and this device must accept any interference received. Wow, okay. So it has that on there, Ron, and if it has that on there, it means it's approved for the United States.
Well, I mean, my question is, um, does everything get this number initially and then they pull? Like, could they have already pulled his FCC approval number even though it's here? Because nobody in the rumor or leak thing is saying that this is going to be FCC approved in the U.S. If this is, Bill, this could be a big change. I mean,
Yeah.
why are we going from the Pocket 4 Pro, which actually is releasing worldwide on Thursday, not being approved? Why this product is probably coming maybe next month or something like that? Why in a month's time does one DJI camera not get approved and then this one does get approved?
Yeah, that staggers my mind, Ron. I can't really comprehend that. I don't understand that. But this was a great catch on that. I mean, it's to see that on there, okay, when it says this device complies with Part 15 of the FCC rules. Wow.
I mean, the only thing, of course, Bill, we have no guarantee this is the actual spec sheet for the
Right.
360. I mean, no disregard to Igor. He's a great leaker. He gets great information, but we still don't know if that is 100% legit, what we just showed there, even though, again, Igor is pretty reliable in his.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So kind of take what we just showed you at its at its worth right there as far
Bill,
as far as
you
that's
just
concerned.
picked up the Osmo 360 V1 recently, correct?
Yes, I did,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to
And your one is FCC approved. That got FCC approved last year, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's been approved. So I thought I had the link, and I'm gonna see if I can find that here. Okay. Yeah, I thought I had that posted up here, but I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back up here to share with you guys. Um, okay. We get leaks all the time, and I know Ron. I'm pretty sure Ron and Marcus talked about this last night, but there was a purported, and I use purported leak of the DJI Air 4 here. All right, and I'm going to say take this one with a grain of salt, guys. I'm not 100% sure on this. AI can do a lot of wonderful things and
Yes.
can really fool you at times. All right.
No, but
And-
if this is factual, are you surprised that the Air series got the same kind of fully rotating kind of gimbal setup as the Mavic 4 Pro has?
no, I'm not surprised at that at all.
Okay.
I'm not surprised at the design either. If this is actually an Air 4, all right, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, that's just pure and simple. And I wanted to bring this up here, number one, because I wanted to show it and I wanted everybody to see it. Those of you who are in the chat tonight, what do you guys think of this? Do you think this is legit? Do you think this is salty? Do you think it's on track, but it's not the actual thing? We'd like to hear from you guys. All right. For me, in my instance right here, Ron, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm shaky on that. Okay, I'm shaky because it kind of fits. It fits that puzzle piece too perfectly, if you know what I mean. Because we really. I mean, having that gimbal is fine, but they could have done it not like the Mini or the Mavic 4 Pro. In fact, that could also be a Mavic 4 Pro, the body that we're looking at over there as well too. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out there for everybody.
Bill, we do know that there's strong rumors that we're going to get an Air 4 before the end of the year, right?
Right.
We've all kind of been thinking more or less in the maybe for fourth quarter, the last three October, November, December time period. So for them to already have one in the box, usually you don't see the box show up until it's maybe a month out from being released. So
Right. This is kind of backwards.
if they already have
okay?
one in the box now, that means it could be coming out in August. I think that's too early.
I agree, Ron. And normally we would see some pictures from maybe Igor or Jasper of ones that had, the prototypes that have tape and markings on them, and they're outdoors and with a lot of quote unquote secrecy as far as that's concerned.
Right. We
Maybe
haven't even seen one spot in the wild yet.
Right. We haven't seen any of those. So, with all that being said, take this with a grain of salt. I really don't see it being this right now. I think it's too soon. I really do.
I agree, but I mean, we could be wrong, and that thing could come out next week. Which would be great, right?
Yeah, we don't know. It could be coming, and then this whole thing that we saw on the Osmo 362 with that FCC ID. Again, we're just showing to you. We're just bringing this up to you and getting this to your attention. Where Igor gets these pictures from, we don't know, and we don't know.
We're not reporting facts. We're reporting leaks and rumors, folks.
Right, we're reporting leaks and rumors. That's what Igor does. That's what Jasper Ellens does, and we're presenting this out to you guys. Okay, so don't shoot the messengers here as far as that's concerned. For me, I'm excited about the new products coming out for DJI, but you know what? It's like it's going to be for the rest everybody else and not for us, which is okay. All right, but that's one of the things that we still do on the channel, because there are many places outside the United States that will get these, that watch our shows, and we want to keep people informed and let them know about these products and what they're coming out and what they're going to have capabilities of doing here. So,
right, and we in the past, we've always talked about drones, even if we didn't plan on getting them. We still talked about them. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a drone we didn't plan on getting, but we still talked about it, even though we could get it. So it's no difference now that we can't get it, but we may not got some of these drones anyway. So it's kind of the same thing we've done in the past, talked about stuff we had no intention of buying ourselves.
Exactly, and some of the things to me that are coming up that we're looking forward to, that I think really is a game changer for me, is anti-gravity coming out with a real controller. And when they do that, and we're kind of like screaming at them, guys, in an anti-gravity, if you're watching the show, please come out with a normal controller, because you'll drop the price down and more people are going to buy it. Do it now so we can enjoy it while we still have summer left before fall and winter hits, especially up north. That would be a nice time to do that, because I know everyone I know who's had the anti-gravity. I know Dr. Joseph, Phil, other ones that I've talked to. Their footage. I've looked at their footage. It's just exceptional, and they say it's a
Garrett Stinker Pot. He gets. We saw him fly at the meetup. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they're losing a tremendous amount of sales by not having that standard controller.
I agree. And guys, if you're one of the ones that wants this, go out there to their contact page and send them a note, okay, and tell them that, because the more that they get regarding this, they're going to say, you know what, we're missing out on a lot of sales. Let's go ahead and get this done. I believe they probably have it in the works. They're probably just a little slow on the draw here as far as getting it to us. I don't know why, but we'll see on something like that.
Well, Bill,
One of the other,
they better have had it in the works since last year, because if they how are they going to get their FCC approval for the controller if they didn't have it already in the works?
exactly. Okay, it's going to take some time to as far as that's concerned. So yeah, it probably had to have been in the works for a while. So let's kind of like get this out there, get it out of beta testing, and get it to us.
Because
Great
did
review.
you see Marcus's latest video, Bill, when he was trying to do the quick shots on the anti-gravity? They don't call them quick shots, they call them something else. But Marcus had a terrible time activating his quick shots from the motion controller, and I never thought about that. I couldn't imagine running quick shots off like the C2 button on a motion controller. So that's definitely why they need a standard controller.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see that. I was going to watch that. I'm going to watch that tomorrow. One of the articles that I found, and this is a really good review. Of course, our friend Sean from Air Photography did this review on the Lito X1 versus the Mini 5 Pro, and this is a really good, fair, objective review. And as it, and as it is, Sean's one of my favorite reviewers out there because there's no fluff. He gets right to the point. He discusses things, and it's a really, really good one.
He's remind the folks, Bill, he's in Canada, so he's still able to access all these DJI products.
Exactly here. And both drones give new pilots a strong safety net. True vertical video separates the two cameras, and of course, you know which one has that. Mini 5 Pro handles wind with more authority. The right first drone depends on how you'll use it. And again, he kind of leaves it to you in the end. But obviously, the Mini 5 Pro comes out ahead because of several things: the vertical shooting, handling the wind, as far as that's concerned. Probably, I would guess also too battery life, as far as that's concerned. So it depends on what you want to use your drone for, and that's always, I think, a good point as a reviewer to bring that up. What are you going to use this for? Are you going to use it for personal use? Are you going to use it for, say, a photography or a videography business, or some other kind of business? That makes a difference in terms of your decision for buying something like this. But this is more a real pure consumer kind of a choice as far as that's concerned. And again, and you brought this up before, and I wanted to kind of bring this up because I know a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have said, well, we didn't get the we didn't get the Lito, and you've brought this up before, and you've mentioned this, and I really like this. This is not new technology with the Lito. Okay, this is something we have seen before. We have flown them before. This is just, it's kind of, if you want to use the word rebranded as far as that's concerned, that's probably a good choice of words. This is just probably another Mini that's been rebranded and repackaged here at a different price point to fit a niche for DJI. And I mean, it's perfectly fine, but it's not a drone. If you've had the Mini series or the Mini 3, Mini 4, Mini 5, if you've had any of those drones, you've had the Lito X1 already. All right. So just to let you guys know, you're not missing out on anything.
But Sean was very impressed with the Lito X1 video. He was very complimentary about it. He made the points like you said. If you're a beginner or your requirements for a drone aren't real, you're not going to do a whole lot with it or fly that often, that the X1 is probably the choice for you.
Exactly. As far as that's concerned. So, with all this stuff,
if you're not in the U.S., if you're in the U.S., it's either the Sky Rover X1 or the Mini 5 Pro, and the Sky Rover is on a clock here, a countdown clock.
Yeah, Sky Rover's on a countdown clock.
Yeah.
As far and as I mentioned before, Specta, which is really Cogito.
I don't know if Bill froze or I froze.
They're out there on that. We'll see what happens here. Okay. As far as Cogito is concerned, or Specta, you can't even find them on Amazon. Not even, you can find a battery here and there, but that's about it. Nothing as far as a drone is concerned. So the only real one that's really kind of making noise as far as fitting this FCC profile for these shell companies for DJI is Sky Rover. And I know, hey, Kestelou on Drone DJ did a real good in-depth analysis of a lot of these, showing back the ties to DJI, which are really, I mean, that's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort. And kudos to Hey for doing something like that. But I think they're the only ones that really kind of stand out right now, Ron, as far as a choice for consumers and for buying them. That will probably go away. And as we said, if this is something along your lines that really interests you, you need to pull that trigger sooner rather than later. And you need to make sure, the props and batteries and things like that are available. And also, notwithstanding the fact of them not being around, purchasing a warning on Assurian as far as that's concerned. So think about those things if you're really seriously considering something like that as far as that's concerned.
And Bill, that's more what you just said. There's more reminder that I'd advise you just get the Mini 5 Pro instead, because you're probably able to buy batteries from Evelyn as long as they make the drone or whatever, over in China, props or whatever. So, you have a better supply line if you stick with the DJI drones, which again, until they discontinue the Mini 5 Pro, you'll probably be able to get batteries and propellers from people like Evelyn or eBay.
Yeah. As far as that's concerned. So, and I did get my Mavic 4 Pro electronic ND filter. I haven't unboxed it yet.
Marcus got his too. Yeah.
I haven't unboxed it yet, but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get it out to fly it this weekend. We have just been we've been inundated with stuff. I mean, with this lightning strike, it's really kind of set us back. I had to get a new garage door opener. Thank goodness, my internet service provider gave me a new router for free, and it's working like a champ. There's no problem with that. Now it looks like we're going to get 2 TVs replaced as far as that's concerned as well too. So it's like, that lightning strike really kind of did a number on things around here. I think it wreaked havoc with our alarm system, so I got to call them up to get them out. So there's a lot going on right now. There's just a lot, and I'm trying to juggle all that and get all that handled as far as that's concerned. So
right, the drones are taking a back seat to all this.
Exactly right now. So it's just doing what I can do as far as that's concerned. And besides, we have had, and just to let people know, Florida has not had. We finally have had some rain the past 2 or 3, I would say past 4 weeks. But up until that, it was really dry here. The threat of wildfires was very real around here. There were watering restrictions in place. They shut our fountain down certain days of the week as far as that's concerned. And, they were rationing, as far as water was concerned and with your lawns and everything. And our lawns are finally looking better, and it's better because of the rains right now. But with this heat, and this is one thing, and I know I went over this a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to kind of bring this up again. With the heat and the way it is in Florida, and for those of you who live here, that, you want to if you're going to get things done, they say do it before 10. I say no, do it before 9. And if you want to do things in the evening, do it after 6 o'clock. Because between 9 and 6, forget it. All right. You're going to have a high UV index. It's easier to get burned during that time. The humidity is high right now. The temperatures, it was 89 degrees at 9 o'clock this morning. All right. And the humidity was 90%. And this is 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. And the day hasn't even really started as far as that's concerned. So, like I said, if you fly down here, you got to do it before 9, or you got to do it after 6 at night. Even during the weekends too. You just can't. There's just no break. We don't
you
really
take off at first. You better take off at first light.
Yeah. Exactly. We don't really get a break here till about October-ish kind of a time frame as far as that's concerned. So, so that's kind of where we're at from that.
How will the daylight savings time affect Florida if the I guess what the House has approved it, but now they're waiting for the Congress has approved it, but they're waiting for the Senate. Would that be good for Florida if you stayed on daylight savings time all year round?
I think it would be good for Florida. I from what I saw, they kind of did some projections what it would be like at 6 and at 7 at night, and what it would be like at 6 and 7 in the morning, what it would look like, kind of a thing, and it would be consistent for the most part of the year. So I'm good with that. It's just, I don't like it in the fall, when it's like 6 o'clock at night and it's just like dark outside, I just, no, I don't, I've never liked that. But,
Yeah,
and there are several,
come the middle of December here up in New Jersey, the sun's going down at 4:30.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just, that's just, it's just crazy. It's like at 5 o'clock, it starts getting dark around here. And it just, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. So the
It does make it
lighter it can,
easy. It does make it easy for me to get my sunsets, though.
that's true. That's very
And,
true
and
as
people,
far as
people don't think sunsets are good in winter. I think the winter sunsets sometimes are more beautiful than the summer ones.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't get them as much where we live now, but in our previous house, I was able to get some incredible sunsets out there on the backyard. I mean, they were just spectacular because our back of our house faced west, and over that pond or that or small lake that we had back there, they were fantastic as far as that's concerned. I get them here, not so much because when the sun's setting, I have a lot of houses in front of me as far as that's concerned. So I'd have to go to another venue to probably shoot from. But as doing a good sunset down here, that's one of the things that I've been meaning to do is go out at twilight and catch a good sunset. And I haven't been able to do that since we moved. We've been here like 4 years now. But I gotta go off the house. Probably need to go up to like where the clubhouse is, and to go up there and be able to do that, so I don't have things obstructing my view
Right, right,
as
right.
far as that's concerned. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I wanted to go ahead and spend. I know we've been talking a lot about the FCC guys, but they're really kind of clamping down on some things, and I wanted to make you guys aware of that. I think it's good to have that knowledge and to know what's going on, even though it isn't exactly consumer drones as far as that's concerned, because they're going after some of the others, which they should. Okay, and I mentioned earlier, some of the things that I mentioned on that list, they should have been going after them a long time ago. All right, not just now, but they should have done that a long time ago. And as far as their focus on consumer drones, and they're really being so very steadfast about them, being, a security threat, and nothing has ever been proved. We've all been round around that merry-go-round several times as far as that's concerned. So who knows what's going to go on with all that? We don't know. As far as that's concerned.
No, I'm
So
going to say the majority of consumer drones are sub 250 gram mini drones. How much damage can they do? How much a payload could they carry?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Your Mini 5 Pro or your Air 3S. I mean, ounces or what you're going to carry with things like that. I mean, I watched some videos maybe a few years ago. I think Billy Kyle was trying to lift a water bottle, and he had a hard time with a water bottle as far as that's concerned. So it's just totally ridiculous. Everything about all of this. Who knows what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. Oh, I know. There's one more
They're
article that
trying
I
to
want.
they're trying to compare our consumer made drones to stuff that's being used in the war in Ukraine.
Exactly here. Now
Oh,
there's one last
now Iran.
now there's one last article that I really wanted to talk about and share with you guys tonight. And this was a good article. Who
Oh
owns
yeah,
DJI? Okay.
yeah.
All right, and talk, how it all started, and we all know, Frank Wang started it in his dorm way back when, as far as that's concerned. Wang rented a small workspace just over the border in Shenzhen, a city that was already emerging as China's electronics capital, which would soon become DJI's global headquarters. The phantom success among recreational flyers established DJI as a leader in consumer drones and paved the way for a new generation of smaller, smarter quadcopters. Talked about the Mavic Pro. Now, who was born in mainland China, founded DJI while studying in Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, intent on building a remote-controlled aircraft that was easy to fly. Uh, the name DJI comes from Zhejiang Innovations, which roughly translates to Great Frontier Innovations, apparently reflecting the company's goal to succeed in consumer technology. Today, it sticks with just DJI for its branding, its official corporate drones. however, is SZ DJI Technology Company Limited here. Okay. Now it talks about up here. While Wang is widely regarded as the company's dominant figure and retains significant influence over its direction, outside investors are known to have played a role in the company's growth. Among them are venture capital firms such as Sequoia Capital China and Acel Partners, which invested in the company during its rapid expansion in the 2010s as DJI scaled its consumer drone business globally. As a privately held company, DJI appears to have maintained a leadership structure centered around Wang, while at the same time benefiting from outside investment that helped to support its expansion. So, this is out there on Build a Drone Review for you guys to read at your leisure. I just thought it was real interesting to find out a little bit more about DJI, about who their investors are, and to get some background on it.
And that structure is not unusual for any typical American company. So
exactly. It's getting a startup, getting investors involved as far as that's concerned, which Frank has done, and he's done a great job at that. But a lot of people are clamoring and saying, the Chinese government is in, the Chinese military is in on it, and all that. So who knows? But I wanted. This is just a great article for you to read.
And nobody will show us that proof, Bill. That
right.
They'll say
right.
That,
There's no. Yeah. Exactly. Proof. Exactly. So, any closing thoughts, Ron?
No, it's just been a busy week. We all these new products coming out. The Pocket 4 Pro on Thursday. Thursday. The Insta360 X6 coming out maybe next month or whatever, which is just a couple days away. I mean the Osmo 362. There's a lot of new camera products hitting us real soon, Bill, and what we have limited access to them, of course, in the U.S. But the Insta360 products get released, and like you mentioned earlier, the Luna Ultra got a big firmware update recently that kind of got it, more ready for prime time. So not a whole lot happened in drones. Well, we couldn't get them anyways, but a lot going on with cameras. But like I keep saying, we got plenty of great drones to fly already. I was out just flying my Avata 360 the other day. Had a great time with it. I'm getting better with my editing on their DJI. What's their app called again? Their DJI Studio.
Yeah.
Get better with the studio app. So I'm having a good drone summer despite all the bad news. So
I am too, Ron.
That's all I have to say.
I am as well, and it was great to see the flip's still on, the flip's on sale. It's the Mini 5 Pro is back on sale as far as that's concerned. Those are two outstanding choices right there. If you want to get something like a Sky Rover, you better act soon and know what you're getting into as far as that's concerned. Extra makes some good DJI clone products out there, and if you want to invest in one of those, take a look, count the cost. As far as that's concerned, it does cost less than a lot of the DJI products, but you maybe want to get an Assurian package with that as too, because Extra is one of those companies that's probably going to fall under the FCC radar as far as a shell company is concerned. So want to make, and again, we're not trying to be Debbie Downers or anything. We want to give you all the facts. We want to let you guys know about everything that's going on in the drone world. And that's why we talk about products that we probably can't have, like the Pocket 4 Pro and the Osmo 362, and supposedly an Air 4 coming. We want to let everybody know. This isn't just for the United States. This show's for everybody. And I know it's the same for Drone Nation, Ray and Johnny's show, Bill Thomas's show. We want to, we're out there. We're for the drone community, and the drone community is just not the United States. It's everywhere out there. So, guys, hope you have a great rest of your week. And as always, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.